it's Leo, and today we're going to talk about episode 11 from Delicious Party PreCure. And I really need to say that I am so impressed with this season. The writing is so good. And I'm going to exemplify that with Gentlu. And there is a specific thing about Gentlu that the show has been doing, and they needed to stress this in this episode, and they did it in such a great way. Since the first episode, Gentlu said that she steals things, but she has some sort of code of conduct. She does not use violence when she steals. And she even mentions that she wants to do it with elegance and grace while she's talking to Narcissuru at the start of this episode. But at this point of the show, only Gentlu knows about this, about her code of conduct. She talked to Rosemary about this very briefly in the first episode. If I remember correctly, it was with Rosemary, but it doesn't really matter. In this episode, the show needed for Yui to know that Gentlu has this code of conduct, and for Yui to start understanding that Gentlu is not a cruel, evil person. How did they do that? They picked Takumi, which is a character that saw Rosemary entering the delicious field in one of the episodes. And Takumi has also seen lots of monsters throughout Delicious Party. Since the first episode, he saw some of the monsters. And Takumi mentioned that none of those monsters seem to attack the town. They don't attack the town, they don't attack people, they just growl, and that's what they do. Like, they don't do anything apart from that. And that became something for Takumi. He thought that Rosemary was the one who was using those monsters, but he wasn't actually, we know. But for him, it was Rosemary. And when he told Yui this, Yui started noticing that everything that has been going on was because of Gentlu, but she was not attacking innocent people, she was not attacking the town, she was just capturing the SCPP because that's what she needed to do. So she was doing what she needed to do, so she was obviously using some sort of cruel means because she was stealing SCPPs, yes she was, but inside she was not a bad person, and she noticed that she didn't want to do this. So they connected Takumi and Rosemary, who seem to have some sort of plot, some sort of story together, with Gentlu, who has nothing to do with it, or, I mean, she might have something to do with it, but her plan and everything that she's doing right now doesn't necessarily connect to what Takumi is going on. So they connected Takumi's and Rosemary's role in the show to something that's been going on with Gentlu, for Yui to understand Gentlu's means and her code of conduct, and for her to start seeing that Gentlu is not as cruel as she might look. Incredible. Oh my god. And this episode was big for lots of other reasons. So we have Gentlu confronting Narcissuru because she doesn't want to make the SCPP suffer. And she even stressed that she wants to do it elegantly. That's a very important trace of her personality that is being shown throughout the episodes. She's not being able to succeed, but she's not trying to change her means while doing this. She does not want to hurt the SCPPs. But Narcissuru does not care. And he tries to teach her a way of doing it, but then the Obalsos will get weaker. And then we see Sigreturu coming in after Gentlu leaves, saying that she will tell Godats what's been going on with Gentlu. So this is very weird. Like, Sigreturu seems to be the only one that's been able to contact Godats. She is not attacking. She is doing nothing. Because Narcissuru was not part of the team at the start because he was working on the bento box. Sigreturu is doing nothing. She's just standing there, and I feel like there might be a reason for that. I suspect there is no Godats. I suspect she's fooling everybody. Let's wait to see where this story will go. So the episode started with a very funny scene of Ran talking about her dream, and it was like Kokone shading her was very funny. Loved that moment. And then I really liked the moment when the girls were like exchanging knowledges, when Kokone was trying to teach them English. And like she taught them a phrase, and Ran was trying to think of a way to like when will I use, in which situation will I use that? So it's a very nice train of thought, because you think, oh, Kokone is very intelligent, but Ran proved to be very intelligent as well in this moment, because she was using the information to think about that and how you apply that in real life. So I find that a very nice trait of intelligence from Ran as well. But Yui obviously was only thinking of food, and when Kokone was sharing the sayings, they could only get the foods right. So that was also very funny. That was also very interesting. And Amane's plan is very nice. And the way Amane only inflicted this bad thing on Ran and Yui was also very on brand with what she is doing. She just has to fulfill her mission. So give out tests, harder tests, just for the people who are going to interfere with her mission, not with everybody who has nothing to do, who have nothing to do with what's going on. So that was very smart for her. I love the Mari scene with Yui when Mari was desperate because they spent lots of days, I think 3 days, not eating sweets because they were gonna eat parfaits. And girl, cure parfait, you were gonna appear in Delicious, but not now. Let's hope it's soon. But that was very cool of Mari-chan. I loved that scene so much. But then Kokone was the only one that was free when Gentlu attacked. And Gentlu was worried that she was not going to be able to find more SCPs. But like, come on, it's so simple. Just go to a restaurant like she did in this episode. So, I mean, you don't need tutoring to do that. You don't need to follow the social media of tutoring to do that. But anyways, she did it. She was able to create an Ubaozo. The Ubaozo appeared, and Mari and Kokone went after it. So I liked the way they separated things, and Rosemary went after Gentlu, and Kokone entered the Delicious field and started fighting the Ubaozo. This episode shared solo transformations, which was very cool. And Mari going after Gentlu was also very nice. The way she was using her powers, like, it's nice that she's using her powers now because we haven't seen her using them yet. So that was very cool. So she used those powers against Rosemary. It was very nice the way everything happened. And Kokone was fighting by herself. The Kokone scenes, Curious Spicy scenes, fighting by herself was a little weird because in PreCure usually we have like the girls talking in the middle of the fight, interacting in the middle of the fight. And Curious Spicy did not interact. And I found that weird because that was a lost opportunity for her to interact more with Pum Pum during the fight. And I don't know, it was very weird seeing her fight by herself. It was very cool because I love Spicy, so I loved watching her fight, even though that was very short. But if she interacted with Pum Pum, the scene, I think, would have been better. So we also have Takumi helping Yui and Ran in the tests. Very, very funny scenes. I loved them, and Ran was able to go first, and then Takumi stayed talking to Yui about Rosemary. And Takumi is suspicious of Rosemary because he saw Rosemary enter the Delicious field with a monster, so he thinks Rosemary is involved with the monsters. I already explained why I think this scene was important, but now I have to recalculate my theories because I really thought that Takumi was already acting, and Takumi was already his magical self that we see in the opening. But the way he talked about Rosemary, I don't know if he's trying to trick Yui, but I don't think that's the case. I think he was really doubtful. He knows nothing about the magical aspect of Yui and her friend and Rosemary. He knows nothing about it. He's still in the dark, and he's still going to discover and maybe awaken his power or get his powers as Black Pepper in the future. But it seems that he doesn't know anything. That's what I believe right now. I thought that he knew, maybe he's tricking us, but I don't think that's the case. He didn't look that way when he was doing it. So we have Spicy fighting, and then we have Ran fighting. Ran enters the Delicious field in another place where she goes against Gentlu. And then she starts talking about the importance of studying. That was also an interesting thing because at the start of the episode, we had a lot of Yui's grandmother's sayings, and she was narrating the episode. I mean, the voice that was narrating the episode was narrating a lot at the start. And then Yui also shared why studying is important based on what her grandmother taught her. And this, basically the message is, when you study, you broaden your horizons, you expand your horizons, you're able to analyze things in a broader way, and you also are able to enjoy things better because you know where they come from and all those details. So Ran was able to share that. Yum Yum was able to share that and how she learned that with Yui's grandmother. Yui's grandmother always bringing something important to the plot of the show. The characters learn with her. Everybody gets better because of what she is saying. So she is a big important character, even though she is not alive anymore. So we have on one side Spicy fighting, and on the other side Yum Yum kind of fighting. She didn't really fight Gentlu, she just escaped Gentlu. And then Spicy was having a hard time. Precious arrived and Spicy used spicy baking, which was a very cool attack. I loved the animation in spicy baking. Baby, the best heart juicy mixer attack. I loved that. Spicy, you rocked. You showed us how it's done with the heart juicy mixer. Girl, what an amazing attack. Really liked it. And on the other side, we had Yum Yum fighting against Gentlu, and she was also able to use her own powers. So she used Yum Yum Drain, didn't like it that much, kind of like Precious Heat. I think it was a little better than Precious Heat, but you know, nothing special. She used it, and her power was stronger than Gentlu's power, and it ended up destroying Gentlu's mask. When it did, it ended up making the transformation go away. So she became Amane again, still with the red eyes. But when she became Amane, the girls didn't notice that she was Amane, and then Yui ran to the place and started talking to her about how she thinks that she is a nice person, how she thinks that she is someone who is not trying to hurt anybody, she's just trying to fulfill a mission. So she believes Gentlu does not want to do what she is doing. So basically everything that she learned in the episode, she was able to share that. And the girls were surprised because they did not think about it before. But then, the face crack of the century, when they discovered that that girl that was up there on that big stone was actually the student council president. I think that scene lacked a little bit. It was very interesting to see the disparity between the voice acting that was very emotional and the animation, or actually the drawings, because the faces were kind of emotionless. So we didn't see the emotions that the voices shared translated into expressions in the characters. And the three girls, they're very different. They would express themselves differently, and I didn't see that. I think that the impact lacked a little bit because of that. That scene was not as impactful as it should have been, in my opinion. But it was still nice to see Amane going, where am I? What's going on? She did not know what she was doing. So we saw in the last episode that she kind of has a little bit of conscience inside of her. But at the same time, like, objectively speaking, she doesn't really know what she's doing when she's brainwashed. She is Gentlu. She's another person. She is being controlled like 100%. And she did not know where she was. So the girls noticed that there was something wrong with her and that she was being controlled. But then Narcissuru appeared. And look, we love a good villain, right? And so the way he grabbed her and took her away, like, I'm getting my puppet, I'm getting my marionette, I'm getting her brainwashing back. And then he simply took her away. Like, he didn't even let the Cures think about it or think about attacking him or going after him. No, he simply took her away. That was so ruthless. I loved it. And I really liked the fact that he was, you know, he's a ruthless villain in this sense. Like, he likes playing with Gentlu, and I loved that. That was so cool. Like, it was tough. It was tough to watch, but at the same time, as I said, we love a good villain. And so overall, I feel like this episode is a lesson on how to make or how to construct a good story and connect everything very, very well. I was also very surprised that we had both Spicy Baking and Yum Yum Drain, the two solo attacks from the Heart Juicy Mixer in the same episode. I was not expecting this to be like the way it was done. Next episode, we're probably getting the group attack already, so very, very excited about that too. Group attack with the Heart Juicy Mixer. And, overall, 11, a very, very solid episode. I think that Gentlu's arc is being constructed so well. This story is really bringing its A game. This is top-notch PreCure when it comes to storytelling, and I am living for it. Anyways, what did you think about episode 11 from Delicious Party PreCure? Please leave your opinions in the comment box. Let's keep on talking about it. And I want to take this time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. If you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.